Kokushibo wanted to stay with you until he was certain you would emerge all right. As such, he watched over you for a prolonged period of time for the few days he was with you. During that time, you found yourself spending adequate time with him. You took walks together at night, slept during the day along his shoulders, and cuddled routinely. Kokushibo desired to live in the moment, to enjoy doing spontaneous things, because he knew sooner or later could be bumps in the road. He would protect you, regardless. Time together seemed to pass by quickly, until one night he found himself walking you back to your village. He suspected that you were okay, and there was no need for him to keep monitoring you so closely. He had told you this, but it seemed to him that you didn't want him to go at all. You were doing everything you could to delay the progress. You wandered off course randomly or stopped your feet frequently. He found it somewhat amusing. Your desperation to be around him confirmed he wasn't alone in those feelings. You continued in your shenanigans until you wandered off for a few moments and found something of adequate value. Mr. Demon? He looked to his right. What? Come. He watched you peer deeper into the forest, and he immediately followed. He wasn't sure what to expect from you. He didn't know what had caught in your eye, but soon enough, there was the answer, revealed to him. He could hear water, rushing water, and his eyes widened when he looked up. There was a waterfall. It was rather small, with the water from the falls pooling at the bottom. You were looking into the shallow water, seeing the rocks near the bottom. The water was clear enough to even see through it. Isn't it nice? Kokushibo remained focused. We should head back. You smiled. Can we go in? He tilted his head. Can we go in? He repeated. And yet, there was silence. For a moment, the upper moon was without words. What? What did you just say? You want to go in the water? Yeah, I want both of us to go in the water. Kokushibo looked at you stunned. Did you realize just how improper that was? We don't have to look at each other, and besides, there's no one here to judge us. You tried justifying. He was fascinated. What were you thinking? He wanted to peer into that mind of yours to see why and what you were thinking of. Ian, he spoke flatly. Yes? You're a woman. And? I'm a man. You're not just a man. You're a demon, you corrected. He was silent. He knew what he was getting. You knew what he was getting at. Still, it's improper. Then I want to be improper for once. He looked at you, skeptically. I'm going in. You can come in after. As soon as he saw your hands heading for your cloak, he turned around. Even if his eyes weren't on you, he could still hear the sounds of you undressing, and his heart began to pound. He had never felt this way before, so on edge. More than that, there was a part of him that wanted to join you. You shivered. The water was cold. Even still, it would suffice. You sank yourself deeper as you waited patiently. You had no idea if he would comply, and you wanted to turn around and see if he was consenting, but you wondered if that was a good idea. If you turned around while he was undressing, you could possibly get a full flash of everything. You blushed, trying to convince yourself it was a bad idea. But in the end, you stayed perfectly still and waited ever so patiently. Thanks to that, you heard the sound of something entering the water. The water moved in response, and you smiled. You immediately grew excited, and you turned around, and there he was. You smiled a bit, looking at the top half of him. He really was tall. Only his lower half was submerged under the water. His torso was built well. The muscles that lined his body suited him, not being underbearing in the slightest. You didn't want to be impolite, so you kept your eyes up toward his face. Kokushibo couldn't believe he was doing this at all. Isn't it nice? I haven't done something like this since I was human. You blinked. You were a human? A long time ago. You nodded slowly. You hadn't known that. So, does one simply become a demon? How does it work? He was silent. You scoffed. He was certainly tight-lipped. Can I become a demon? He gave you a look. It surprised you. Your hands, he began, are innocent, Yin. I'd prefer you keep it that way. You blinked. You had forgotten a moment. Being a demon came with its own circumstances. Your shoulder is better, correct? You nodded. I can't wait to hop back into training. As soon as I'm back to normal, I'm going to train harder than ever. My goal is to be as talented as you one day. I'm not that talented. Kokushibo corrected after some time. No, you're very talented. You're my inspiration. You think me as a talented? But that's not the case. I am someone who's still following behind someone else's footsteps. Falling behind? He didn't wish to speak of it anymore. But you are talented. I've seen you. It sounds like you're comparing yourself, but you don't need to. You came over to him through the water, and he stiffened. He watched as you wrapped your arms around his neck. Because if you ask me, you're the best ever. He scoffed, a small smile forming on his lips. He resisted the urge to chuckle. His hands touched your waist, pulling you closer to him. You could feel your bare bodies against each other. Your eyebrow rose. I thought you said this was improper. And he kissed you. I've decided I want to be improper for once. You giggled before kissing him back. After your time together in the water, you once again headed back towards the village. Your walk, though, together was slow. You were clinging to him so tightly as you sighed softly, locking his arms in your hands as if you didn't want to let go. You didn't want to head back, but at the very least you were grateful for the time you spent together. Well, when will I see you again? You asked, looking up at him. Soon. You frowned. Soon as in 3 months? Or soon as in actually soon? Actually soon. He confirmed. You made it to a tree that was near your cottage when he stopped walking. You can meet me here from now on. Don't bother going deeper into the forest. You smiled before nodding, and your hand slowly disconnected from his arms and you tightly embraced him. He held you in his arms. I love you, you whispered. And he loved you too. He closed his eyes, trying to ignore the thoughts he had been holding back for a few days. He truly loved you. His love for you was so deep that it caused him to listen to something other than his logic, his thoughts bubbling to the surface once again. He wished that this could last forever, but he knew something would have to change. Consequences, consequences, consequences. He knew they would be coming soon. It was only a matter of when. He knew he should leave, but he found he didn't want to. His body wanted to stay here. His hands wanted to stay around you, enjoying the warmth he divined from having you so comfortably close to him. He wished he would stay here with you for an eternity, but the voice in his head was telling him it wasn't possible. This would all be threatening very soon. Kokushibo, come here. His eyes snapped open. It was that man's voice, Lord Muzan. His emotions turned off once more. I'm departing, Yin. You nodded. I'll see you soon. He took in the look of your soft smile as despair hit him. He knew he was in trouble. Playtime and fairy tales were over. It was time to face reality.